Why do you think you've been so successful in developing this inside leadership talent?
Well, I couldn't have done it back when we were really struggling and really fighting every day. About 8 years ago, I guess I was able to bring in a general manager to take a lot of the daily responsibilities off my shoulders. Because you're right, in small business, you don't have time. Leadership training is a pretty low priority when you consider the other things, including survival of the business. But once I was able to offload a lot of my daily responsibilities, I had time to take a 30,000-foot look at the business and say, we're weak here and we're weak here, and this is what I need to do. And then as I was getting older and closer to the end of my career, I knew I had to do something. It didn't appeal to me to sell the business to someone who wouldn't operate it the way we had operated it. And so I decided that I would try this. It took, I guess, all 8 years. I started in one direction. I tried to train the leadership team to think like me, an entrepreneurial owner. That was a mistake. I didn't need entrepreneurs. I needed leaders. And so I retooled and developed a leadership program. This one worked. And I think it worked for a variety of reasons. One, we started with looking at our people individually and saying, you want to be a leader. You really probably are not ready to be a leader. What's holding you back? Was it that you were not raised around leadership in your home? Was it that you were taught along the way that you couldn't be more than you are? I typically have managed tradespeople, and tradespeople tend to cut the education off at high school, so they probably haven't been exposed to, formalized leadership training. And once we started talking to the people and saying, or identifying what was holding them back, then I was able to attack each person's limitations. Another benefit of being in a small company, because we were only dealing with 8 people in the program. And you can develop a close relationship with just 8 people. Once we identified what was holding them back, we began working on removing the ceiling and raising their performance. Out of the 8 people, it worked for 6 of them. It did not work for 2 of them. And so now we have 6 people who are, running the company instead of the 8 that we started. But I think, I'll take a 75% success rate on a training program. I bet you would too.
Yeah, that's phenomenal, and it speaks to another issue of this that I think that keeps people from doing this is the criteria most people use is who's been here longest, and that's the next group of leaders. I think you've hit on something else, and my question is, what do you look for, and how do you identify these people that you think you really need to invest in?
Well, I think it's best illustrated by a sports analogy. If you look at any locker room around the country, there are the stars, but the stars are not necessarily the leaders. And so you look for the people that your teammates look up to, or that the people you're coaching look up to. Those are the natural leaders, and they have the greatest chance to become skilled leaders. And so that's the first thing. When you talk to them, most of them have a desire to move forward with leadership. Some of them do not. And if they don't want to move forward, that's okay with me. Then we know what we have. But that natural selection process really works in leadership. And it's rare that you would have an organization where there's not an unofficial pecking order in the company that you have to be attuned to. So that's what I look for first.